Hello everybody, my name's Joe, and today I'm coming at you with a quick overview of Isabella from the recent release of the early access for Hellish Quart. I'm very excited for this game, as I'm sure many of you are and have been for quite a while now. But Isabella was the character that I was most interested to play because it shows what Kubald has been doing in respect to two-handed weapons. So let's go ahead and jump into this. This will be a really informal format, just like the previous videos were. So the first things we need to get started with are, of course, the basics. If you're playing on an Xbox controller like me, then you'll have 4 buttons: X, Y, A, and B. Now, respectively, these are your top left cut for X, your top right cut for B, your bottom left cut for A, and B is your bottom right cut. Now, with those basics out of the way, a few quick things to go over with Isabella that I've noticed so far. Isabella is a great methodical, zone-controlling fighter. Now, when I say that, I mean basically at this distance, Isabella just wrecks everything. Like, she can hit where the opponent cannot. And she has a wide variety of attack types and speeds to go along with that. So if you just want a quick, jab to punish the opponent for coming in too early, it'll do enough damage to kill them. And it's so fast. Like, yeah, let me go ahead and turn on the annotations real quick. I always forget to turn on the damage annotations. And the stamina. And if you guys don't know the commands for that, by the way, that's F3 and F4. It's just like the demo. So in addition to quick attacks, she also has slow, methodical kind of combos that do tons of damage. Now, after saying all that, outside of this mid-range area, I have not had any success with Isabella. So if you're going to be playing Isabella mainly, know your distance. Know the measure that you can effectively use her moves at. Because the problem is, if you're too far, some of her attacks are so slow and have quite a cooldown on them that your opponent can come in and punish your whiff. And when I say whiff, I just mean your miss. And if you're too close, I can't really show this with just a, dead player. But if you're really close with Isabella, bad things happen. Her arms will get trapped. She can't move her sword right. It's just a bad time. So I'm not saying you can't get up close with Isabella. I'm just saying if you do, don't get your blade trapped. It's not going to be a fun time. Because you're just going to be wrestling with the physics, and you'll probably die, because most of the other characters have shorter weapons than you. Now, on the subject of your measure and your attacks, the best way that I have found to use Isabella right now, like I said, is to use her as a zoning and controlling fighter. So, your friend with Isabella is going to be the space that you can put between you and your opponent, and how you can close that distance at the exact right time to where you can punish them with a set of combos or quick punishes. Now, when I say that, I don't mean, stand all the way back here, and then when they start coming, do some stupid line like this. Like, that's going to get you killed and it's going to eat your stamina. What I do mean is, if they try closing the distance, backpedal. So this is good, this is bad. This is how you get your arms trapped. So you need to keep in mind that if they're trying to close the distance, you need to backstep. You need to punish them. If they pursue and overcommit, then you punish them with quick jabs and stabs. Now, don't worry about your space and your distance, because Isabella has plenty of tools in her repertoire to keep the opponent at bay. One of my favorite ways to punish a overly aggressive player is to just hold left trigger. Left trigger brings up your long guard, and with Isabella, there are 3 long guards that I know of right now. This is one. This is Vomtog, and I want to say that's Alber. I don't know. I haven't looked up longsword stuff in a while. But this is the one we're worried about right now. This is like just putting a shotgun in their faces saying, stay the hell back. I'm going to bink you really hard if you come in closer. You can thrust from here. You can either hold forward and hit Y to do a really long thrust like that, which is really good for closing distance, by the way. So it's a mix of aggressive and defensive. You can hit X, which will do a quick thrust like that. You can also just tap Y, which will also do a quick thrust. So basically just ways to keep your opponent out of your little safety square here. But say, you know, you can't obviously be passive and defensive forever, because if you do, you're eventually just going to get stammed out, and you'll never, you know, actually hit the opponent. And if you don't hit the opponent, then eventually the opponent's going to hit you, so you've got to find ways to attack eventually. And Isabella is not under-equipped in this capacity, okay? So she has plenty of strings that synergize really well. Obviously, if you press start or hit escape, the moves list is not there yet. So you've got to kind of figure them out on your own. Some limes that I've had really good success with are when the opponent's being a little passive after they come in and they give me the initiative, and I know they're a little low on stamina. I could throw that line in that I showed you earlier, like this one. And it's basically just a bunch of attacks, and you can throw as many of those attacks as you want, really, as long as stamina allows. And if your opponent's slow on stamina, I mean, it'll eventually get to them. But the key with Isabella is to know when to use single strikes and when to commit to a combo, because God bless if you go into a combo and you're not in a position to do so, your arms will get trapped, you'll get stuck in a cooldown, you'll get killed. But on the converse, if you have an opportunity for a combo and you just do a quick little thing like that, then you're basically giving the opponent initiative. So you really have to think about, you know, when can I commit? When do I just want to see and test if I can get a hit in? That kind of deal. As a beginner, I mean, we're all kind of beginners right now. But as a beginner, I recommend, see if I can get this to work. The long guards are a little weird with Isabella right now. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Here, let me restart the match real quick. So, if you, I want to say, if you point the stick, you basically press back and down at the same time, and then you press the left trigger for your long guard, and it brings you into this. Sometimes I can't get it to work right. I don't know if that's a bug or if it's something I'm doing wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how you're supposed to do it. But anyway, as I was saying, as a beginner, a really good move you can do that both takes space and controls, your mid-range kill zone here, and also puts pressure on the opponent with a nice string, is to get into this stance and just hit B. Like, you see that? You do a quick rise, a really fast rise. You take a step forward and you take distance, and by doing so, you take the initiative. And the CPU, so far, whenever they get hit by this, they're liable to try and smack you, like, right after. That's my experience anyway. And when they do, that second hit catches them on their shoulder, and it's over. So just a really easy, little move you can do that has good success. Another really good move to close distance with. So, like, say I'm back here, the opponent's being passive, and I want to close some distance and put some pressure on them without getting too close. You hold forward and hit... Alright, let me see. You hold forward, hit B, and then hit X. So when you hold forward and hit B, you'll do this big sweeping undercut that controls a lot of space. And when you hit X right after, it advances more with the point. I didn't do it right there. And that will catch a lot of opponents in the gut. Believe it or not, it will hit them. So I would definitely recommend using those two moves. The one from the guard that I was showing you, that I can't get to work anymore. Yeah. I don't know how to get to work, guys. So sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Another quick thing, this is probably the last thing I'm going to talk about before I load up a demo game to show you guys some of the tips I was talking about. I want to talk about synergizing your lefts and your rights. With Isabella, this is so good. If you watched my video with Gideon in the pre-early access demo, you'll see that I said that Gideon synergizes really well with his lefts and rights because of Polish cross art for him. Isabella synergizes very well with her lefts and her rights. So, like I said before, the string here. Let me do it. Where it just goes really quick from the left cut to the right cut, and you can pretty much just keep doing that. Oh, didn't mean to kill him there, but hey. Let me restart this. Alright, back. Didn't quite mean to do that. But this little string right here, your advance thing, and it does the lefts and the right cuts like this. All that really is me pressing forward and alternating hitting X and Y. Like, that's all it is. And it's not just that. You can chain the lower cuts to the upper cuts, and the uppercuts to the lower cuts. Like, something I really like to do is hit B and X without moving forward. And look at that. It went right past the automatic guard. Like, that's crazy. And you can do the same thing with A and Y. It'll do this. So it covers a wide range of the opponent's body. Oh, and I was a little close there. See, that's an instance where you can get close with Isabella, like I was talking about before. If you're going to strike their sword with the strong of your blade, which is the section that's closest to the crossguard, with the weak of the blade being the tip, you can get up close because your swing will probably actually go through the sword, and the middle or upper section of the sword will probably still hit them. So it's definitely worth it to be aggressive with Isabella in certain circumstances. Obviously, you're going to have to use your own discretion and learn from trial and error exactly what that is. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I could think about right now to talk about with Isabella. The long guards, the Vomtog and the one that I can't get to work anymore because the game's being rude. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I can't really recommend using this. It does work sometimes, but it doesn't work any better than just using your regular moves. So like that, there's a problem with this. Whenever I do that and get stuck in this is called the Ox Guard, I think it is. Whenever she does that, I can't move or anything. I can't even attack. So I can't recommend using this Long Guard yet. Obviously, the game's not finished. Or maybe there's something that I'm just missing and there's an attack I'm supposed to do, or a combo that I'm missing. But I would stay away from the Vomtog until, you know, either you figure out what you're supposed to do or something gets fixed or added. I'm going to go ahead and load up a demo game for you guys. And I will show you the things that I was talking about. So for the sake of continuity, we're just going to fight Barabbas again. Alright, so remember, important thing to keep your distance. I'm going to go with the nice little attack forward B to X to close some distance here. And we traded. I'm trying to get the damage annotations on. Let's try that move again. You see that? He tried to close distance and I hit him with the uppercut. So by controlling my zone, I was able to control the opponent. And say I don't like him pressing up like that, I could do this. Now I can control his distance. And if I see an opportunity where I can poke, I poke. Like that. Now let me show you what happens if you get a little too close to the opponent. So, I don't know if you can see here, but I'm actually pretty congested. And I can't even get my blade to the proper... Well, I got him there. But I couldn't even get my blade to the proper position to where I could even do the cut effectively. And it didn't even damage him half the time. So, just, you know, an example of where your distance really matters. Let me see, something else I can show you. I'll go ahead and show you this line here. I'd like some more distance between me and Barabbas, but I guess I can go ahead and do it. Oh, well, the first hit him because he decided that he could get me before I got him. Alright, let's close some distance with that move. Well, the distance was closed for both of us, and we both got, you know, killed. So it doesn't count. Let me try that one more time. I really wish the computer would stop gambling. But you can see that I'm closing the distance here with a flurry of attacks. I guess Barabbas wasn't the best to pick to show this off because he's a pretty aggressive character. There we go. Ah, yes. So that was a good example of the flurry. And following up with the stun and then the attack because he was outside of his range, but he was well within mine. And that was not an example of good swordsmanship. Let me show you an example of this move real quick. So like I said, get into this guard and just press B. And yeah, that's pretty much enough said. Um, I will probably update videos as you know updates happen and I become more competent with these characters. Um, Obviously, there's things that I haven't figured out, but the things that I have figured out, I would like to share with you guys. Just in case you can't really get it to work. Um, but comment below and tell me which one you'd like next, or anything that I missed or messed up. I imagine there's a lot that I messed up and will continue to mess up, so you guys just keep me on my toes. Or, be smartasses, if that's the way you want to look at it. Either way, criticism is good criticism in this situation. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll be pumping out more videos, like I said. But yeah, y'all have a good one.